Well, here we are with the first chore of the day, and you can see this area around the pool is a mess. This is what it looks like every spring, and we had a really wet late winter. We had a lot of rain, especially for the desert where I am, so we had a lot of weeds. The good thing about it is there is a weed barrier, so they don't come up from the bottom. This is stuff that blows on top of the barrier, so the roots are very shallow, and this should take me about a half hour to do at the most. Um, you can see over here I started, and this didn't even take me a minute to do. Okay, as you can see, I got a lot done, and I've been working for about 15 minutes. And here's the pile. It's not hard. It comes up really super easy. It's just the bending down and pulling action I can't take. But it's very little effort. So I'm going to take a break and let some of the green die down and then bag it up. It may take me a couple of days to go through all of this, but the lucky thing is it only happens once a year. As soon as the weather turns warm, this doesn't grow a weed. It's too hot. Here's a view of the living room, uh, emptied out. We're not getting rid of, we're gonna move the pinball machine, but that weighs over 500 pounds. And my daughter's workout equipment is gonna stay there. But what we're building is gonna take up this entire room. Oh my God, I am toasted. After I finished washing the carpets and doing the gardening, I made a mac and cheese from scratch for my family for dinner tonight. I am tired. I can't lift a pencil. But I wanted to show you guys this. Look, my nails are tore up. I don't even want to think about it. This is the picture that I'm going to be working on. It came from Annie's Coloring, and I'm going to leave a link to the Etsy shop in the description. I've done her pictures in the past. This is not the first time. So when she asked me to do another one, I was like, yeah, great. I didn't even have to see what she wanted me to do. I already knew that I love doing her pictures. There's just something about them that just calls to me. So she sent me a whole bunch of them, and she's like, thank you. And I was like, yeah. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I am so flashing on this picture. And I told her this is the one that I want to do. So here's what I want you guys to do. And this is a good exercise for you. You see this picture. Now I'm going to take it away. In your mind, what colors did you see this picture at the end? I want you to flash to the end. You've colored it already in an instant. What colors did you use? And I don't want you to sit there and think about it for a while and ponder it. I want this to be your instant gut reaction. And then put the colors that you would like to see. Now I'm talking about, would you like to see a blue scheme, a red scheme, a green, purple, gray, anything you say. I want to see what you guys can, if you guys can just go at it like really quick. Look at a picture and see it done. Because that's really important. Visualization in art is everything. Very few artists do not see the finished product in their mind. It's part of it. If you must see it to produce it. So that's what I want you guys to do. I want you to look at it, flash on it, go with your gut reaction, and put your in the comments section below. I want to see what you guys, are doing with it, or would do with it. She also has a really nice Instagram page. I'm going to leave all her info in the description box. And as I said, she's got some really great deals in her Etsy shop. I've done a lot of her florals. These are mythical women, and they're very interesting. So enjoy it, check it out. And if you want to follow along on that, I'm going to do this one slowly. So if you want to get this, they're really dirt cheap. I don't know. I mean, they're really like really cheap. So if you want to follow me along, I will do this as a follow along because I'm going to work on it in chat now that we're kind of stuck in the house and I don't get to talk to a lot of people. I talk to you guys every day. So the next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, I'm going to get out my other paid book. My hands have to be going. Let's find the page I was working on. Here's my frog. I could work on my frog a little bit. You guys are going to get sick of seeing this frog. But I was thinking today, I like to think about everything, even the worst in life. And a lot of people are really bugging out with this and worried. And I don't blame you, I'm worried too. But imagine this. I'm a big believer in God and spirituality. I'm not big on religion. I don't care what religion a person is. I really think that we're all praying to the same place, just in different ways, and that's okay too. So, I believe that God has a plan, or the higher power, if that's what you want to call it, has a plan for us. And everybody thinks this is the worst thing in the world, but imagine this. Look on a more positive side on this. Maybe down the road, there's another virus. And those who get this virus will have immunity to that virus. We don't know. We don't know why this has suddenly popped up in our lives. And also, I'm a New Yorker, hard to tell. I survived 9/11. We all did that are here. My husband was in the third building that went down that day. His office looked straight up to the towers, and then the one that went down in the fire was his office. And for a lot of time, in retrospect, it wasn't a lot of time, but then it felt like a lot of time. I didn't know where my husband was because he was always at the trade centers doing whatever, and I had no clue whether he got out, was there, if something fell on him. I didn't know. I was thinking all sorts of things. But, New York picked up and went on. And now they have the Freedom Towers and life went on. Not for the people, but we survived it. And everybody who was alive for 9/11, because believe it or not, there's a lot of people now that were not around for 9/11, lived through history. And I'm talking every day is history, of course, but I'm talking like history that they are going to talk about forever. This is unprecedented. We're experiencing something the world has never experienced on the global level like this. Now, I know there was the Spanish flu, and which was pretty bad, and there's been plagues and pandemics in the past, but for our lifetime, this is unprecedented, and it being worldwide the way it is, and we haven't lived through that. You're taking part of closing the world down. That's amazing. And I have to raise an eyebrow on a lot of people who, I've seen comments on Twitter, because I like to read Twitter, and I've seen comments, this is the worst thing ever. Are you kidding me? Really, the worst thing ever. We have sent our people to stay home for a month, play video games, and watch Netflix. That is That, I mean, I'm not talking about those who are getting sick. I know that it's the worst, it's really bad. People who have lost, I am not disrespecting that. There is going to be global change financially for the world and everything, but I'm talking about the immediate, today. If you were to just to examine one day in the world, what has what has changed? And we got to remember that. You have to put it into perspective. Yeah, it's going to really suck in the days to come. Staying, it's boring. It's, restrictive. It's scary. But we're going to get through this. Like every other pandemic that there's ever been, or any other plague that there's been, or we will get through this. And I mean, I don't care what political party you are and the fighting, I'm not interested in that stuff. I'm talking about as a whole. Every one of us are heroes just by staying home. And it's so mind-boggling, like people complaining, chill. Maybe the higher spirit, whatever God or entity you pray to, maybe just thinks we all needed a break with the global warming and everything, and we needed to think about it. Like, we needed a little shaking up. People so into themselves and getting away from interpersonal things. Now, of course, we're not allowed to, this is a social distancing thing, but we're also stuck in the house with our families, and eventually we're going to have to interact. We all have to find creative outlets for things to do, and some people will stay completely on their cell phones and on their devices, but clean your closet. We got all the time in the world. Dust a shelf, do some gardening. There's nothing saying you can't go outside. Do a little bit of gardening. It feels good at the end of the day. Now, and for anybody who got looking at me, I'm doing gardening, it's not so good for my hand. It's different muscles. When I'm using my hand, I'm using more of my bicep doing this than my shoulder, grabbing on and lifting with my shoulders. So it didn't really bother my hand that much. I was pretty, comfortable. Not even sore from it. So just give it a thought that there's going to be a lesson learned with this. There always is. For everything out there. And throw your hands up. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know where this is going to take us. Throw your hands up and say, it's out of my control. I have to stay in. It's nothing that I can do about it. And you'll see, it'll take a lot of burden off of you. I mean, that's kind of what I like that. That's blending really nice. I love this Derwent Chinese white. Drawing, not other. It's the drawing Chinese white. Apparently somebody had written to me and they bought the wrong pencil. It wasn't the drawing one, and it was a little bit scratchy. So this is the drawing one. I love it. Look how smooth your paper gets. Over here. So just give it a thought. If it starts to get to you, we're all in it together. We're all going to make it through. And it'll be okay. And some people I saw saying it couldn't get worse. Yeah, it can. There are worse things. Quite frankly, except for the people who really, really got sick with this, for the most general population, some people aren't even getting symptoms. They don't even know they have it. That's what's so dangerous about this. So it's not the Spanish flu. It's not even influenza. Influenza is really bad. That's the flu for anyone who's doesn't know. So be grateful for what the experience that we're getting. That's what I want to bring to you today. Be thankful. Say a prayer. And throw your hands up. Jesus, take the wheel. That's really important. Take care, guys. I will see you tomorrow. I promise.